Okay, so here's something to think about. What if the most profound stories about love and faith weren't about grand gestures or sweeping romances, but about the quiet, unspoken moments between two people? That's exactly what Midwinter Break explores, and it does so in a way that's both deeply moving and, well, a little frustrating.
That's such an interesting way to frame it because this movie really does hinge on those quiet moments. It's not about big dramatic declarations. It's about the silences, the pauses, and the things left unsaid. But let's be honest, that kind of storytelling isn't for everyone.
No, it's definitely not. This is a film that takes its time, sometimes too much time, if we're being honest. It's only 90 minutes long, but the pacing makes it feel much longer. You really have to be patient with it, especially in the first half, where not much seems to happen on the surface.
Right. But beneath that surface, there's so much going on. You've got Stella and Jerry, this retired Irish couple living in Scotland, and their relationship is just quietly unraveling. It's not explosive or dramatic. It's this slow, almost imperceptible breakdown that's been years in the making.
And that's what makes it so compelling, even if it's a bit of a slog to get through at times. The film starts with this sense of unease. You know, something happened early in their marriage, something traumatic, but the details are kept vague. And then Stella surprises Jerry with tickets to Amsterdam for Christmas, and you think, oh, maybe this is their chance to reconnect.
But it's not that simple, is it? The trip to Amsterdam isn't about rekindling their relationship. It's about confronting everything that's been left unsaid. And it all comes to a head when they visit that church in Amsterdam, the one tied to a community of single Catholic women. That setting is so symbolic. It's steeped in history and tradition, just like Stella's longing for a more pious, meaningful life.
Exactly. And that's when Stella finally opens up about how she's been feeling. She admits that she's let herself down, that she's been living a life that's out of alignment with her faith and values. And then there's Jerry, who just doesn't see the world the same way she does. He's more pragmatic, more black and white, and he doesn't really connect with the spiritual side of things.
But it's not just about faith, is it? Stella's also deeply unhappy with Jerry's drinking. He's not a violent drunk or anything like that, but his reliance on alcohol has clearly been a sore spot in their marriage for years. It's one of those issues that's been quietly eroding their relationship, even if they've never fully addressed it.
And that's what makes their dynamic so fascinating. Neither of them is the villain here. Jerry's not a bad guy. He clearly loves Stella, but he's stuck in his ways. And Stella isn't perfect either. She's been holding back her true feelings for so long that when they finally come out, it's almost explosive.
The performances really bring that dynamic to life. Leslie Manville as Stella is just phenomenal. She's got this quiet strength, this patience, but you can see the cracks in her facade. And then there's Ciarán Hinds as Jerry. He's so stubborn, so set in his ways, but there's a vulnerability to him too. You can tell he's struggling to understand Stella's perspective.
Honestly, the performances are the highlight of the film. They make these characters feel so real, so lived in. You believe that Stella and Jerry have been married for decades, that they've shared all these ups and downs, but at the same time, you can feel the distance that's grown between them.
And yet, for all its strengths, the film isn't without its flaws. Let's talk about the pacing. It's only 90 minutes long, but it feels a lot longer. The first half, in particular, is incredibly slow. You spend a lot of time watching these quiet, contemplative moments, and while they're meaningful, they can also feel a bit tedious.
That's true. It's definitely not a film for everyone. If you're someone who needs a lot of action or plot twists to stay engaged, this movie is probably going to test your patience. But if you're willing to sit with the discomfort, to really immerse yourself in the character's world, there's a lot to appreciate.
And I think that's what makes it such a polarizing film. It's not trying to be a crowd pleaser. It's more like a meditation on love, faith, and the passage of time. It's the kind of movie that demands your full attention, that asks you to lean in and really think about what's happening beneath the surface.
Exactly. And for those who are willing to do that, the payoff is there. By the end of the film, you feel like you've been on this emotional journey with Stella and Jerry. You've seen their highs and lows, their moments of connection and disconnection. And that's a pretty powerful experience.
It is. But at the same time, I can see why some people might walk away feeling underwhelmed. The pacing is a big hurdle, and the film's themes are pretty heavy. It's not exactly a feel-good movie. It's more like a quiet, introspective drama that leaves you with more questions than answers.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the best films are the ones that make you think, that stay with you long after the credits roll, and I think Midwinter Break falls into that category. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of heart and depth.
Totally. So, would you say it's worth seeing?
I think it depends on what you're looking for. If you're in the mood for something introspective and you don't mind a slow pace, then yes, it's worth seeing. But if you're looking for something light or entertaining, this probably isn't the film for you.
I'd agree with that. It's not a movie you watch for fun. It's a movie you watch to feel something, to reflect on something. And for that reason, I'd say it's worth seeing, but only if you're in the right mindset. It's not a casual watch.
Exactly. So, final verdict. What would you rate it?
I'd give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of heart and depth. What about you?
Same here. A 6.5, maybe a 7 on a good day. It's one of those films that you appreciate more the longer you think about it. But it's not without its flaws.
Well, there you have it. Midwinter Break, a slow, contemplative drama that's not for everyone, but for the right audience, it's a rewarding experience.
And if nothing else, it's a reminder of the power of silence and the complexity of love. Not a bad takeaway, if you ask me.
Not bad at all.
You've been listening to Movies First.
Available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favourite podcast player. You can also stream on demand at Bytes.com.
This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.